All right, little buddy. Where are we traveling to this week? We've been around the world many times, but it seems that we tend to go back to our kind of photographic megaland where all the big players are coming from these days, and that is Japan.
One ticket to Tokyo, please.
That's right. And what are we looking at this week from Japan? Well, I'm going to compare my Sony cameras. I'm going to go head to head with the A7, the original, versus the A7R2. And what's the difference? Do you know the difference? Yeah? How do you know the difference? You don't even use these things. Anyway, let's look at these things together. Get yourself something to eat or drink and get yourself comfortable.
You just ate the most acid I've ever seen anybody eat in my life.
And let's get it on.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. That's right. This week, just as the intro says, I'm going to be going head to head with my my two Sony cameras here.
Oh shit! Okay. Oh my god!
Have my original A7 from way back, and my A7R2, which is also pretty way back. But hey, those are two Sony cameras I have. Both of them still work according to how they were designed to, and save myself a bunch of money by not upgrading to the the A3, A4, A7R4, 5, wherever we're at these days. So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about. Now, really, what's the biggest difference between these two anyway? Huh? What do you think is the biggest difference? You don't know? Well, it really comes down to sensor technology. I mean, because the date of these two things aren't all that far apart. They're only 17 months apart. You know, the A7 was introduced in January 2014, and the A7R2 was in June 2015. So, a year and a half apart. They pretty much have the same features for a lot of the things. It's just the sensor really is the biggest difference between the two, the biggest kicker, as they say. Well, how does that affect performance? Well, we'll go through that. We'll go through that in a bit. But just to compare specs, just to show you how similar these things are, and the differences with them. And the first obvious difference is the sensor, as we just said. The A7, which was the very first full-frame mirrorless camera to come out for Sony. And it is a 24 megapixel CMOS sensor. I don't know if you know this or not, but Sony is one of the biggest sensor producers out there. They make sensors for pretty much everybody else. And there are others out there, but I mean, Sony's the big one. And the A7R2 has a 42 megapixel sensor, and it is BSI, which is backside illuminated CMOS sensor. And what does that difference bring to the table? Well, your ISO is again almost identical, but the A7 starts at 50, goes up to 25,600. The A7R2 starts at 100 and goes to 25,600. But what's the difference with that? Why is that number different? Well, the A7R2 has no low pass.
What?
Anti-aliasing filter, which increases sharpness, but
Like big butts and I cannot lie.
But the problem is that it also allows for the possibility of moire, French word, meaning funky lines that can show up in your photos if you have repeating patterns. I'll show you an example of that here. Other than that, stabilization. No stabilization in the A7, but the sensor is stabilized in the A7R2. They both have 3-inch diagonal tilting rear screens, so they don't swivel. They don't come out like my Canon M50 has. But this one can tilt up or down, so you can hold it up or low and tilt it out, so you can still see anyway. So it's not quite the greatest thing, but it still works. You want to take over from here?
Same, but different. But still same.
Eh? Now you're not sure what you want to say? I didn't think so. The electronic viewfinder is 2359K on both of them, so they're identical viewfinder. The video output though is different. On the A7, it is full HD, 1920 by 1080, and the A7R2 is a 4K UHD. Hey, Jesus, 3840 by 2160. So it's a bigger, larger resolution video output. They both have Wi-Fi. This one's a little lighter. We got 474 grams. Quiet, you, versus 625 grams. They are this one's slightly bigger. The footprint overall, it's got a larger hand grip. The shutter release button is actually on the front of the hand grip, versus on the original A7, it's up on the top panel. So when you're using both, that can throw you off a little when you're used to one or the other, and you're like, wait a second here. But anyway, dimensionally, this one's a little bit bigger. They're both weather sealed, which is nice. Focus points for those who are using autofocus. You got 117 focus points versus 399 on the A7R2. What else can we compare, buddy? How about the battery life? Your battery life on the A7 is going to allow for 340 shots versus 290 on the A7R2. So you're getting more bang for the buck out of your battery. For those who are, looking for greater dynamic range, the A7 actually has a wider dynamic range than the A7R2. It's 14.2 versus 13.9. Not that great of a difference, but still. Achoo, what a fake sneeze, man. Color depth, A7R2, beats out the A7 on that one. 26 versus 24.8 bits. Which means the A7R2 would be better for portraiture in that regard. But because of the sensor megapixel count on the sensor size, the 24 megapixels, the actual pixel coverage is 75% larger in that regard. So that's why a lot of companies out there will tell you that the 24 is kind of the sweet spot. It's where got a 24 here. My Canon M50, which is shooting this video, has 24 megapixel, even though it's APS-C. My, excuse me, my Leica M10 has 24 megapixels. So it's kind of a very common sensor size. Anyway, so how about head-to-head? Head-to-head. You want to do a head-to-head? Yeah, you don't even know what head-to-head means. Well, let's do. I'll get you some shots of the. What I normally do is take pictures of the nameplate on the on my Canon M50, and it's a 15 to 45 EFM kit lens, and I just try to see how sharp I could get the writing on the end of the lens. What are you pointing at? Who cares about that over there?
And now for something completely different.
Just to, use the same lens for both. I'm using a Topcore RE Auto Topcore 58 millimeter 1.4. So I'll shoot this wide open, and not yet, mister. Hold on. And again, we'll see how sharp I could get the writing on the end of the. All right, we'll go right there. 1, 2, 3. So that was the A7. Now hold on while I switch. See, he's used to jumping underneath my arm so that he can get his view of the shot as it's coming along, as it's being produced. Let me stick this on here so you get your little grimy fingers in there. I know you always wanting to touch everything.
Stop touching me!
Let's put this on here, like so. All right, so this is the A7R2, and I'll let you do your thing because I know you don't want to be in there. Hang on, wait for it to power up. Right there. So you can see the big difference having stabilization in here, huh? Especially with a live 3-year-old sitting on your leg. Didn't need to put the term live in there. 1, 2, 3. So what's the opposite of live? Ooh, don't even think of that, huh? I'm too young. Yeah, see, you've been watching that Penguin show too much.
What you talking about, doctor?
All right, so that was the head-to-head comparison of taking the photo of that, and then I'll crop in again so we can look at the resolution differences between the two, and see again, does that that absence of the low pass filter on the A7R2 really increase that sharpness enough to make a difference between the A7 and the A7R2. With that said, how about some pictures of this guy? Of Dylan, yeah. All right, so here's Dylan with the A7 using the Topcore 58 millimeter 1.4 at 1.4. And here's Dylan with the A7R2 with the 58 millimeter top core at 1.4. So what do you think, buddy? See any differences between the two? You do? What's the difference?
Whatever.
Just, yeah, is the difference? Huh, okay. I figured as much. So, other than that, oh, how about some random stuff? Little random stuff between the A7 and the A7R2. How about we jumble them up and see if people can really tell the difference? We'll label them A and B, and see if anybody can tell the difference between which one is the A, which one's the B. All right, so here's some random crap of rainbows and butterflies and bunny rabbits and lakes and trees and flowers, bumblebees, other stuff that we're probably not going to find pictures of, right? So here's my random crap at F, whatever. All right. So that was the visual on that. Now, if you look at DxO, Mark, the A7R2 has a higher ranking, gets 8 points more. The A7 got a 90, and the A7R2 got a 98. So that's what DxO thinks of these things. But other than that, what else? Well, A7R2 has eye tracking.
Am I still in the thumbnail?
That's something you use. I mostly use manual focus lenses, so that's why I generally don't even consider things like autofocus and whatnot. Even though I have, I do have some Sony Zeiss lenses, the 55 1.8 and the 35 2.8, and the Zeiss Batis made for Sony, which is the 85 1.8. But other than that, I don't really do a lot of autofocus with that, so I don't really care about eye tracking and all that. I like to challenge myself with the manual focus, right, mister?
Whatever!
So how about we give our little plug for our photo editing software? What do we use? We use Luminar AI and Luminar Neo. And what's the difference between the two? Well, Luminar AI is the kind of older version. And Luminar Neo is their latest one, and Neo is a combination of Luminar 4 and Luminar AI. So, so I guess it's their latest, greatest, best thing ever. But there's a lot of AI out there in photography world these days, Photoland. And what does AI mean, mister? You know what AI is? You do? All right, well, tell us. 1, 2, 3.
No!
No! You little BSer, you. You know that's not what it is. Artificial intelligence.
Whatever.
So, Luminar Neo is full of artificial intelligence.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
You have dust and spot removal. You got power line removal. You have background removal. What does all this mean? It's again, when you click on any of these buttons, whether it's the spot dust removal or power line or background, whatever, it analyzes. Excuse me. I'm not sneezing. It analyzes your photos and then identifies the spots and whatever and removes them. So what does AI actually do in this program? Well, like the spot dust removal. It analyzes your photo and removes the spots and dusts. Spots and dusts. Dust spots. Power lines. It analyzes your photo. Again, looks at the power lines. Zip, 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 zip. Removes them. May not be the cleanest removal in the world. You might have to go in and brush up a tiny little bit here and there. But it's pretty good at doing it though. Background removal, same thing. Just it identifies your subject and highlights it and removes everything else. And there's a lot of other stuff, scenery lighting and everything. So again, AI is kind of the direction everything's heading in these days. So instead of fighting it and saying, oh, I don't want to use AI for anything, why not use it? You know, it helps speed things up. Well, why should you get a copy also? Because Dylan's going to fall off and hit the floor. And we got that live on YouTube. What else? It's economical. You know, it saves you a lot of money compared to some of the other software programs that are out there. You can use it in conjunction with others, like with Lightroom and whatnot. You can use it as a plugin, and they can play well together. Photoshop and so on and so forth. But it worked great as a standalone. I mean, all the photos on my screen here are all done using Luminar. So, and once it's yours, you download, it's yours for life. There's no yearly subscriptions or anything else. So, hey, it's great bang for the buck. If you want to save $10, as I said, it's already economical. I don't know what the price is this month, but it's fairly cheap for what it does, the software that you get. But if you want to save $10, there's a link in the description below. Click on that, and it'll take you to their website, and it'll deduct $10 off your price. And voila, you get a better price. And what do they do with that $10, mister? Do they give it to us? Nah. And if you have it, that means if you collect enough of that, you can maybe one day have $1 million. $1 million, right?
$1 million.
And you gonna share that with Daddy? Yeah? Oh, you're such a sweetheart. Maybe you can buy me a nice house or something. Huh? Maybe a nice villa with a pool in the backyard. Get me a nice Beamer or something. Yeah, such a nice boy. At this age, you know, by the time you're a teenager, you'll hate me forever. But anyway, I can make you watch these videos and make fun of you in front of your friends. I'll tell all your friends what the YouTube channel is, and they can laugh and say, oh, what a dork Dylan was when he was a little 3-year-old. So other than that, another reason to support Luminar 2 is it's produced by a company called Skylum, who's in Ukraine, and everybody knows what's going on there. Ooh, Mr. Putin. So support the people there who are working hard to create this software for us, giving us free updates. We just got an update a few days ago, so works well. Other than that, how about we get them to subscribe? Yeah? Subscribe! Yeah, support our channel. How about this side? Subscribe! How about two hands? Your fingers, my fingers. Subscribe! That's right. What else does YouTube like besides subscribers? Well, not besides that. Well, what else do they like? They like the thumbs up, right? So if you give us a thumbs up, we'll give you a little taste of the thumbs up girls. Are you ready? Thumbs up, do 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 do. Thumbs up. Yeah, thumbs up. Aren't they cute, huh? He's got the hots for them, that's for sure. So other than that, well, who are we? You're Dylan. Who am I?
Hey, that stop.
No, I'm Dr. Scott. You're Dylan.
That.
I am your father. I'm Batman.
I'm Spartacus!
Bond. James Bond.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya.
And together we are all Modesty Photography. And we're here to talk about tips and tricks about photography, maybe review some cameras, some vintage stuff, vintage lenses. Really just about anything. We can talk about anything you want. If you want to leave a comment below, you can either say how much you think Dylan is a little cute boy, or how much you hated the show,
They suck. They just suck.
or even better, some recommendations for something you'd like to see anyway. Oh yeah, and you sneezing. So other than that, why should they come back here? You know why they should come back? Because you belong here. That's right, you belong here. And where do they belong? What's the name of the show? This was Camera Talk with Dr. Scott and Dylan. That's right, and Dylan. So, how about we thank them for dropping by, huh? So, thank you for dropping by. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for buying a copy of Luminar through our link. Thank you for coming back next week. And thank you for just being you. All right, so you think that was it? Is it? All right, so how about you ready to say bye-bye? All right, so 1, 2, 3, bye-bye.
Here I am,